Howdy folks. Well, I haven't been very active on the tubes of late, a lot of you have noticed. And I think it's because if I haven't been out, expeditioning or something, or doing a trip or camping or something that's kind of interesting to look, then I haven't put a video out. And I wanted to get something out for this weekend, so here it is. I'm going to do a Tales from the Hammock, Yarns from the Hammock episode here. And I'm going to talk about corned beef. Probably everything you wanted to know, and most of the things you didn't probably need to know about corned beef. So settle back. I'm going to make myself a cuppa here. Thanks ever so much to all my viewers for all your kind comments on the last video there, much appreciated. Let's start this with a question. Why is corned beef in that shaped tin? And it's always been in that shaped tin. Why is it the only thing that's in a strange shaped tin? And I saw this on a like a thread, a chat thread, a couple of weeks back, and all sorts of answers came up, and none of which I think got it right. So we're going to talk a bit about that. So, this viewer said, what do you call, we call it corned beef, you call it, he said he thought I heard it, I referred to it as salt beef or something. Ooh, little visitor there. Yes, we call it corned beef. Colloquially it was known as bully beef. That's what the British soldiers called it, and that's a corruption of boule beef or beef boule, French for boiled beef. So there's a snippet of near useless information for you right there. And it's been around, it's been issued to the military since the Boer War. So that tells you how long it's been around. And it was definitely part of the rations during the Normandy landings. I was watching something on the net the other day, these guys that reenact and things, and they do a lot of studying into these things. And they managed to get hold of records that kind of documented that these guys were issued 48 hours just prior to the landing. They were issued 48-hour rations, which comprised of a tin of corned beef, that's the standard size, which is I think 12 ounces, so 3/4 of a pound. And another cardboard box full of boiled sweets, instant tea, and biscuits, crackers, hardtack. That was their lot for 48 hours, so in case they couldn't be resupplied. But anyway, back to the question. So why is it in that shape? Why is it in a square tin, let's say? Right? It's not square, but, and one of the answers was, well, it's the military commissioned it that way because it's easier to pack and ship. Well, it's not only the military that like things easier to pack and ship. If it was easy to pack and ship, all tins would be square. So I don't think so. Also, it's not quite a square tin, it's a trapezoid tin. It kind of slopes in. So that's not the most efficient way to pack something. Also, the American K rations, it was all round tins. And have a cup of tea with no milk for the bun. Anyway, so one tin of corned beef, normal size, 12 ounce, was issued and was expected to last the guy 48 hours, 2 days. So you crack it open, eat half the tin, maybe share the other half with his mate, or he'd end up with half a tin that he can't eat. That now he's got to try and, I mean, how does he say there's an open tin of corned beef? Well, I think that's the clue. So I'm going to open this tin of corned beef in a minute and share some with Spudley. He's been waiting very patiently, and he's done. So I'm going to have some corned beef and crackers in the traditional way. Corned beef, some people loathe it, some people love it. Really, it depends on how you prepare it. It can certainly be better or worse, same as anything. But it's very high salt content. Obviously, it's, you know, full of sodium and nitrates. It's a highly processed food, which ain't too good for us. But you can't beat the convenience of it. You know, it's a portable thing, full of fat, full of salt. Everything a growing body needs. And of course it was, you know, considered emergency rations anyway. It's when the normal supplies weren't available as far as the military goes. But these little small tins are perfect for what I do, and they're kind of, it's something you just throw in your pack and you've always got it. Sort of get you out of trouble thing. This is a 7 ounce, so it's little over half of what a normal can size is, but this is also a nice trapezoid shape. So 12 ounce tin, little tab on there, figure out which way it goes first, because this is the problem if you break the key off. And you locate the key, try and keep the key perpendicular to the base. Now I'm probably showing a lot of you. And then away you go. Try and keep it. A lot of you can do this already, but for those that haven't experienced it before, the joys of corned beef. So the trick is to very carefully open it, keeping the key at 90 degrees to the base, so that the wound up metal doesn't overrun itself. It kind of spools up nicely there. And the finishing part is quite important. You know, if you get back to the seam there and it gets stiff, what you have to do is hold the two parts of the tin so that the key comes off cleanly, cuts properly. And if it doesn't, don't force it. Wiggle it backwards and forwards until it just breaks off that little remaining tab. Don't know how well you can see that. Try not to twist up the metal too much. Let's come away. We'll deal with that in a minute. It's not the neatest one that I've ever done. And normally, what you do is turn it on the base and then lift the top off. But I'm not going to do that. I'll lift this part off. And first, anything you eat, you test on Spudley first, and if he doesn't die, it's safe to eat. Is that right, Spudley? What are you talking about? Oh, sorry, I didn't realise you heard that. Here. What do you think about corned beef? Do you want some? Oh, I think you like it. Alright, take your time. A little bit more. Let's do it over here so that anybody watching can see whether you enjoy it or not. Here. I think that is definitely edible according to Spudley. Very salt, but a nice little snack. Very unhealthy. So the supplier that supplied corned beef during the First World War to the military was Fray Bentos, and they're a company that's still in business today. I'm eating these with Jacob's cream crackers, dry crackers. Jacob's were also in business during the First World War, still in business today. Huntley and Palmer's also. Cold straight out of the tin, not too bad. Would you like some with a cracker, Spudley? Is that something that you would enjoy? Alright then, go on then. I've eaten it down to the level there, down to the rim, which is about all I can stand in a sitting. It's about a quarter of a tin, I guess, so what is that, 3 ounces? Now the trick is not to cut yourself, and carefully get the key off with the bits that it's wound up. And so now you're left, if you've been careful and haven't distorted the tin. How curious that the width of that band is exactly right to allow you to replace the lid, put it back in your knapsack. Not that I would ever suggest doing that, because you're not supposed to keep the food in the tin once you've opened it, nor would the manufacturer ever suggest doing that. But I can't think of any other reason why you would have that shaped tin, unless it's for the convenience of whatever you haven't eaten, you can put a cap on and at least keep the insects out. I can tell you that this stuff will keep for more than a day, even in the tropical environment, because the contents are so salt, they've got so much salt in them that it doesn't tend to go off. So there it is, everything I know about corned beef. Now, when it's empty, don't throw the tin away, because this is also perfect for making char cloth or charcoal, and I'm actually going to do that in a video that's coming up, because I've got a little filter project to do, a video project on filters. So you don't need to punch a hole in it or anything like that. Once it's empty, you just load your cloth or your dry vegetable matter in it, put the cap on, build a fire around it. Once the fire goes out, you can go back and retrieve your char. So corned beef, also known as bully beef, from the French beef moule, or boule beef, boiled beef. Also known, Navy slang, corned dog. Sorry, Spudley. Sorry about it. Yeah, no offence, man. Okay? Alright. We cool? Are we cool? Alright. Another little rain shower. Lovely out here though. It's a great way to unwind. We're snug as 2 bugs in a rug here, aren't we, Spuddles? Hey? I think you've got corned beef in your hair, you know. Yeah, what, you're saving that bit for later, or what?